Hello and welcome to Simple Country Place. I have 4 real-life meal ideas for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, welcome, and enjoy. And I do want to just be very upfront right now. This is a chicken and pork themed video. I did not intend for that to happen. It's just the way it worked out. I am still kind of working through stuff in my freezer, so that is how things worked out for this video. So the first thing I'm making is buffalo chicken tacos. I am just getting the taco toppings ready, lettuce and tomatoes. And then I had air fried up some chicken tenders that I'm just adding some hot sauce to coat. And like literally this recipe could not get any easier. And I had nothing planned for this night. We had a friend over. He is like super obsessed with buffalo chicken stuff. And those chicken tenders cook up super quick. So I just threw this together for him and my husband. With that, I had also made some like oven roasted potatoes. Those are my husband's favorite. Super easy, very minimal prep. Throw them in the oven and then you just wait. So I assembled the tacos with whatever you like, just lettuce and tomato for those two, and ranch dressing, or you could do blue cheese if that's your thing, but super simple and super quick. I had like gotten home from work. I've been super busy with like the holidays. I'm trying to open a new business. And anyways, gotten home and those two were sitting there staring at me like, hey, we're hungry. I was like, okay, didn't have anything planned. Let me throw something together quick. So that is the result. But they liked it. And yeah, if you like buffalo chicken stuff, super simple recipe for you. This next meal I was actually again going to be out of town getting stuff ready for my new business. Anyways, I'm going to make a version of white chicken chili. I know there's a million different versions of this. This is what I had, again trying to use things that I already had. Me and my husband like to play what we call food survivor, to get rid of like things out of our pantry and freezer. So had some chicken thighs I added into a crock pot. And for seasonings, I did oregano, cumin, chili powder, cayenne, salt and pepper, and some dried cilantro. And I'm sure this would be better with fresh cilantro, but I don't usually keep fresh herbs. I should, I just don't. And so to that, I'm also going to be adding a diced onion and some bell pepper that I've diced. For like the substance of the white chicken chili, obviously, other than the chicken, I'm also adding garlic, minced garlic for seasoning, but drained and rinsed black beans, which is why I know this is not your typical version. You don't usually put black beans in, but that's a pantry staple, so I had some. So drained and rinsed black beans, green chilies that I had drained, and like a half a bag of frozen corn. Again, it's just me and my husband, which I'm a vegetarian, so I didn't eat this, and my nephew, so I don't make I try not to make mass quantities of things, so I added about a half a bag of the frozen corn. To that, I'm also adding bouillon cubes to make broth, so bouillon cubes and then water. And I had actually prepped this the night before, and so in the morning before I left town, I put it in my crock pot and cooked it for like 6-ish hours. And came back after those 6 hours, the chicken shredded up super nicely. And I shredded up quickly. I had a block of pepper jack cheese, so about like a half of a block of that, shredded that up and added that, some cream cheese, and some half and half for like the creamy bits. And then after I added all that, I covered it and let it cook for like another like 1 to 2 hours, just for like the creaminess to come together. And I will say, like, as a rule, my husband does not really like soup. He says it tastes fine. It doesn't fill me up. So, I didn't know how, like, he does like chili, but I didn't know how he would like feel about this, but he really liked it. He actually had 2 servings. Like, he like went back for seconds. So I was like, that's a win. And like a couple other days this week, I was not going to be home again. And so I put like portion size in the fridge, and he reheated it and had some on the nights I wasn't home. And when I served that, I just served it topped with some shredded cheese and then some more dried cilantro. Again, fresh would be better, but it is what it is. You work with what you have, right? Real life. On this day, I had some pulled pork, or some pork loin that was cooked and in my freezer. I had pulled that out a couple days to let it thaw in the fridge, and I'm going to be making like open-faced pulled pork sandwich, but I didn't want to make like your typical barbecue sauce like I always do, so I was going to try a mustard style sauce. So for that, I had butter melting, I added yellow mustard, apple cider vinegar, and we'll be adding Worcestershire sauce, a couple dashes of hot sauce, brown sugar, and salt and pepper. And then I let that cook down and come together. So once that came together, I did add in that already cooked pork loin I had. And at this point, I just threw the top on for like the pork to heat up and like absorb the juices and stuff. And then it was like super easy to shred, as you'll see later. But yeah, I just let that hang out with the lid on for a while. With that, I am serving some like potato wedgie type situations. And so I have some sliced potatoes that I'm going to drizzle olive oil over and then season with seasoned salt, pepper, and Parmesan. And I mean, it's super simple, but like I get bored with making the same types of things over and over again. So I was like, let's just try this and see what happens. And once I had those all seasoned up and like coated in those things, I just put them on a single layer cookie sheet or into the oven, and then I did flip them halfway through. And like my husband loved these. He's like, you need to make those again. It was super good. So back to the pork. I have a piece of bread there, and I'm just putting the pulled pork on that, like spreading it out. And I did pop that in our oven under the broiler just to like crisp up for a little bit, like the crispy ends on the pork, and then like crisp up the bread a little bit. And then, yeah, serve those with the potato wedge, or serve that with the potato wedges and some fresh veggies. And my husband liked it. His favorite will always be the barbecue sauce that I make, but it's something different, so something to try. And then, like I said, chicken and pork videos. So this night I'm making apple pork chops. And I have 2 really thick cut pork chops that I'm seasoning with garlic salt, paprika, a smidge of chipotle powder, and pepper, and seasoning those really good on both sides. I seared those pork chops on both sides in just some heated up olive oil to, get some color, lock in the moisture, all of those things, but I did not cook them through. And as you can see, they were thick. I was like, "Ooh, it's gonna take a while," but I seared them and then I removed them. And then to that same pan, I melted some butter. And the pork chops they're seared but not cooked at this point, hanging out on the sidelines. So to that same pan with the melted butter, I'm adding a sliced onion and a sliced apple. And I can't honestly remember what type of apple it was. You might be able to tell by I usually don't peel things unless you have to, but, and then I cooked that down for a bit, the onion and the apple, and then added minced garlic as well. So the garlic cooked for a little bit, and I added back in the pork chops, as well as apple cider vinegar, thyme, and pepper for seasonings. And then I just put the lid on that and let the pork chops finish cooking. I did not mess with it. While the pork chops finish cooking, the vinegar will reduce basically down to nothing, but it locks in a good flavor and keeps the pork chops nice and moist. I know that's a trigger word, sorry. Nice and juicy. And yeah, and then the onions cook down nicely, apples cook down nicely. And when I serve that, I just serve that with mashed potatoes and a side salad. And my husband and my nephew both said the pork chops were really good. They had a unique flavor that they hadn't ever had before, but they were happy with it. So that is a win, even with my nephew who's relatively picky. So good deal. But yes, thank you so much for watching, and please come back for future videos.